Hey everyone. So some very surprising news out of Japan this morning. Sony's announced the Xperia Z4, and as you can probably tell just by looking at it, it's very similar in design to the Z3 and even the Z2. The speakers have actually been moved back to the bottom and top portions of the phone, similar to how they are on the Z2. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up the announcement page. It's in Japanese. I'm going to have that translated into English. So it's launching in these four colors: white, black, copper, and agua green. And so far this has only been announced for Japan. There hasn't been any international version announced. So just keep that in mind, that there's actually a rumor that there's going to be a different version of this phone announced at the end of May for international markets, and I'm going to discuss that a little bit later in this video. Just looking at the specs, it has a Snapdragon 810 chipset, which is a good upgrade. It's mostly expected at this time, but it's still good to have that. It also has 32 gigabytes of internal storage and 3 gigabytes of RAM. The screen is only it's the exact same screen as the Z3. It's 5.2-inch 1080p display. And almost all the specs on this phone are very similar to the leaks. And one of the leaks was that the international version of this phone would have a QHD display. So just keep that in mind for those of you disappointed. If there is an international version announced, it's very possible that it has a QHD display, which to my understanding, it's not as important for the Japanese market. But just looking at the other specs, the battery is actually a little bit lower. It's 2930, so that's surprising, but maybe they found ways to increase the battery efficiency. I think that the main selling point that they're going to have for this, the main difference, is it has a 5 megapixel front facing camera with a 25mm wide angle lens and image stabilization. Now, for me personally, and I think probably for a lot of other people who are interested in these phones, that's really not all that exciting. I know that there obviously are a lot of people who are into selfies, but I don't know, it's not, most of the specs on this phone, it definitely, I'm sure it'll be a great phone, but there's nothing on this that makes me want to upgrade from my Z3. Maybe with the international version, if that is announced, there will be some substantial changes to it, but I'm not too optimistic about that. So I don't really know how I feel about this. It's not, there's really not much exciting about it. I guess the one positive for me is I don't feel like I have to upgrade. Most of the comments I've seen are pretty lukewarm on this as well. But yeah, let me know what you guys think, and if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below.